been watching you for a while. You're different. And I believe everyone deserves a shot at redemption. Do you?
Absolutely. My days of breaking into places and stealing stuff are over. What do you want me to do?
I want you to break into a place and steal some stuff.
Welcome everybody to another Native Thoughts review. I don't know why I did that, but welcome everybody to another Native Thoughts review, another movie review. But before I go on, if you are listening to this exact same audio on SoundCloud, you can actually watch this exact same audio in the video format on YouTube Native Thoughts. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you can listen to the exact same audio of the video on audio, just MP3. Listen to it, play as you go, play as you run, doesn't matter, on SoundCloud Native Thoughts. And let's get back to the review for another summer movie, a big summer movie. This time it's for a Marvel movie, Ant-Man. Ant-Man starring Paul Rudd, Michael Douglas, Corey Stoll, Michael Pena, T.I., and yeah, I think that's the only people who I forgot the girl's name. Ant-Man starring Paul Rudd, who is a criminal, he is a thief. He's good with computers. He's a hacker. He knows how to break and entering like an ant. Wow, pun. And Michael Douglas plays Hank Pym, who is a famous scientist who worked with Stark in the 680s, early years of Marvel and Shield. He was part of Stark and Shield Corporation, who just happened to just leave one day because they wanted his creation of the ant suit of his Ant-Man. Well, I'll give you away too much. It's pretty much just Paul Rudd who gets taken on the ring of Michael Douglas to become the next hero, the next Ant-Man. They need someone who's not sane, who is not so into the whole thing about being so great about saving the world that way the suit won't affect people. And Corey Stoll playing the villain who just really just wants to recreate that scientific experiment into something evil and most villainous. That's what I'm going to say about Ant-Man, because that's really all it really is. Because it is an origin story, but it is an origin movie that tones down because it wants you to have fun. Because it is one of those characters where Ant-Man is kind of not believable unless you have some fun with it. Because the problem with Ant-Man is that it's an unbelievable character, but it's still fun with it if you know how to work it. And I really think that Ant-Man is most of a fun movie throughout the movie. The biggest problems I could have as Marvel movies, I said in my review of Avengers, if you see it, go check it out on SoundCloud or YouTube. Avengers is that I find it the weakest of this Marvel cinematic universe, the weakest of the film, because it is that middle ground where you already gave us so much, and how do we put everything to fit into a big climactic fight, and it all becomes really just another scene of Man of Steel, but better in a way. But the thing is, I do believe Avengers is okay, but it's not the greatest Avengers. The first one's still way better than the second one. I do think the second one is the weakest one, but however, from Ant-Man, the thing is, I believe by Guardians of the Galaxy, people already saw that formula that worked with Marvel, and people liked it, and people chilled for it. People were surprised by it, how it could work without typical heroes that we know. Now that we're Ant-Man, that formula that they created, that style that they made, is so predictable and is so paint by numbers in Ant-Man that we know what's going to happen. The one thing about Ant-Man is that it is predictable at best. Nothing really outshines better than Michael Douglas and Paul Rudd characters, because the thing is that it is a funny movie, but you have these other characters, for example, like Michael Pena and T.I. In the background, who come every now and then in the movie, who really are the comedic laugh to back up Paul Rudd's character. The thing about that is that it works to a point, but there is a point by the end where it really kind of drags on and really doesn't make it as funny. And the thing about Corey Stoll character as the villain, the problem with that is that I didn't like the villain. I thought the villain was so much of a it was pretty much, he acted like an old James Bond villain, in which it was super hyped up, it was super cocky, it was super villains who was crying because of everything he wanted his way. And the thing is that I didn't think it was that effective, because by the time when shit got down, I didn't think it was that big of a threat. I just thought it was that big of a Ant-Man's gonna win, and it's so predictable by the end. But the thing is that it's predictable in which how the story's gonna go. But what makes it good is the fact that how the ride that you have of him becoming Ant-Man, him training is what makes it really funny. Him at the end fighting as an ant, how simple things around us really become a larger world, really work well in the film, and it's really, I think, it's not the weakest of the Marvels. Unlike, in my opinion, Avengers, I do think it's the most predictable of the Marvels. But the thing is that it's the most creative film of Marvel. Besides Guardian of the Galaxy being so creative and so unique, however, Guardians was so creative in the sci-fi sense. This is the most creative in that same sci-fi, but in that most comedic way. Because this is honestly, I think, if Marvel wants to succeed with Ant-Man, they should just be the straight-down comedic character, you know? Anybody, I mean, Guardians, you have the Star-Lord, Chris Pratt character, who could work well as a comedic, but as the same character, I do think Ant-Man works as that. Whenever we're gonna see Ant-Man in the future Avenger movie, it's always gonna be that comedic laugh that's gonna make us cheer for him and for anybody else. He's always gonna have that type of puns or comebacks with anything, and I really think that's the best thing about Ant-Man. More problems I have is just really the villain, the predictableness of Ant-Man. But I really think it's entertaining at best. You know, it's entertaining. That's pretty much my review. It's entertaining, and I think you should watch it at the movies because there are some things that you will enjoy when simple objects become a larger world, and I really think it's effective. However, it is an origin story, but I love how it just becomes a gag of that origin story, you know, and you could really tell it's Edgar Wright at so many points because a lot of point is that, I mean, yeah, they rewrote Edgar Wright, who left the projects for creative differences supposedly, but you could still tell they left some of that Edgar Wright into it that you feel maybe with Edgar Wright is. I always feel like this is gonna be that project. Maybe with Edgar Wright, it would have been so much more. It would have been probably the one that we thought would have been the best Marvel movie. In that sense of maybe the comedy style of it, I don't think action wise because he's done well. Edgar Wright's a good movie, but I do think that it could have been so much more. And I think if they ever make a second one, maybe they should just get Edgar Wright to show us his vision of it because I feel like it may have been different. And because this is just that mainstream, predictable Hollywood movie, but like I said, it works well. But you could tell formula of Marvel. But that's all I really have to say about Ant-Man. I would say just watch it at the movies and it's really entertaining. There are some things that you're going to find cheesy or some things that are going to be like, oh, okay. But most of nothing, it works well, you know. It is what it is, and I think it's entertaining at best. But that's all I really have to say about Ant-Man, everybody. Hope you guys have a good day. Bye.